Hey everybody, I wanted to take a moment today and talk about an invasive pest plant that's here in Tennessee, honeysuckle. I know a lot of people like it. It's got a great smell. When it blooms, it goes everywhere and everybody just really enjoys it. And I understand that, but there's some problems with it. But there is an alternative to it as well. So let's get into that. What you see here is an invasive honeysuckle version called Lonicera japonica. Okay, you can recognize it just like this. It really loves to sprawl all over the place. It produces flowers that produce that scent that everybody loves, but it also produces berries that have about 2 to 3 seeds in them that the birds disperse. And you know how birds are. They fly everywhere. They can go all over the place. They don't have any boundaries. So this is not going to stay in your yard. It's going to go somewhere else. Now, maybe it's going out in the wild. What happens when it goes out in the wild? It then displaces something. Something that a native animal, native insect, native bird would have preferred over this particular plant. Now, what if it was a whole species of plants that it just crushed, like, say, a privet does or kudzu does in the south? All those are very invasive plants, and they need to be removed from your garden if you ever see them. I've been spending some time this week trying to remove these from this particular garden bed, but it is really hard because if you leave any little bit of it in the garden, it will resprout. It's a vine plant. It forms roots all along the stems anywhere it goes. And so really try hard to get these removed, because once they start growing, it just keeps on growing and keeps on growing. This area is over on our side yard, and I really can't control this area that much. We've got honeysuckle, we've got all kinds of different things. Crossvine is in here, briars, blackberries, and it's just wild. There are lots of wild areas in Tennessee where you just cannot control it. That's why it's so important that when you do have the opportunity to control it in your area, in your garden, you really need to, because there's lots of places where we just can't get to it at. The invasive honeysuckle takes over. Here you see it just climbing straight up this tree, and it's going to wrap around the tree. It's going to choke it out, taking away any chance of it getting light for its leaves, and it will grow all the way up into the tree canopy eventually. But you know what? There's an alternative. You could choose something like this, which is Lonicera sempervirens. This is a native honeysuckle. Now, unlike the other honeysuckle, it doesn't have a whole lot of fragrance. No fragrance, but it's beautiful, it's red. This attracts native pollinators. They love it. Hummingbirds come to this. This is what is supposed to be here. The other one is not. So this one, you can look up coral red honeysuckle. You can find it by Lonicera sempervirens. Either one of those will get you to this plant. You can buy this and put it in your garden, and it doesn't take over. Our red honeysuckle is climbing up a crepe myrtle that we have in the front garden. It weaves through the branches, and it's adding some extra foliage into the bare branches of this particular tree. Now, this isn't the greatest of spots, but if you grow it on a trellis, bamboo trellis, or an arbor, it will be gorgeous. This is a honeysuckle that's worthy of being in your home garden, and I highly encourage you to replace the other honeysuckle with some variety of the Lonicera sempervirens. It's just a better plant overall. You can manage it, it's well behaved, it works for pollinators, and it's supposed to be here rather than not supposed to be here, which is good for everything. I've had this plant here for about 8 or 9 years, and this is as far as it has gone. It is easy to pull up and remove if I need to. It sprawls, it does root along the stem a little bit, but it is not extremely aggressive. And I've got it in a mostly sunny to part shady spot on the corner of this arbor and the crepe myrtle. As a gardener, you make a lot of choices every day. You can go in and plant whatever you want, whatever you can purchase, whatever you can find. But I'm just wanting to encourage you to make the right choices. Remove invasive pest plants whenever you can. Replace it with something that is more beneficial, something that's supposed to be here. And I hope this video is interesting to you. If it is, please like it and please subscribe to the channel for more future gardening.